Everything was normal before the year 2020. Everyone had high hopes and dreams. Maybe the US won't elect another asshole president. Maybe flying cars will fill the air. However, no one was prepared for the crisis that suddenly struck. Throughout the world, young adults celebrating their 20th birthday suddenly experienced dramatic character changes. People were acting out of control and making rash decisions without any consideration for their consequences. It was in May that studies revealed that these outbreaks were very similar to iconic mental breakdowns experienced by pop stars in the past. Thus, the crisis became known as the coming of craze. The length and severity of each pop star meltdown varies between people, and there is no cure in sight. We decided to look at a group of classmates from Northeastern University in Boston and follow their stories through these hard times. We will speak to people who have not yet experienced the breakdown, those who have passed through their breakdown, and even some young adults currently in their breakdown. We will also speak with Dr. Belle Nye to learn more about the research on the coming of craze. My name is Emma Toole, and this is Turning 20. We start our discussion talking with students that have already experienced their breakdown. We sat down with Zack and Neal and talked about how the crisis affected their friendship.
Hi, my name's Neal, and my breakdown at 20 years old really changed my life. At the time, Shia LaBeouf was really, starting to inspire me as an actor and as an artist. I was a big fan of his films, the Even Stevens movie and Holes.
Transformers as
well. Eagle Eye.
Cinematic masterpieces such as
Classic.
Those movies.
Yep. And it was just, it was all really starting to connect around when that stuff started happening. And, when he started having his emotional breakdown and he put that bag on his head, I knew when I saw him, I was like, that's me. I understand. I am not famous anymore. Now, I was never famous to begin with, but it just spoke to me so much that for quite a few days, I would just go to parties wearing that paper bag on my head.
Yep.
And anytime someone tried to talk to me, I'd tell them, I'm not famous anymore. And they would tell me, yes, you were never famous, we know. And then usually I'd throw something at them, spill something on the floor. It was a mess.
Most of the time it was me.
It was
hurt
Zack
a lot.
quite a bit.
Yeah. It sucks.
And all of a sudden, I woke up, sort of came to in Russia, and I was on a crew of criminals stealing bridges. Eventually, Interpol and Russian authorities caught up with us, and I may or may not have sold out Zack to the Russian authorities.
I was in that Russian prison for 2 years. I was never even a part of that bridge stealing gang. Yeah, after all this, I honestly don't know if I'm ever going to be able to forgive Neal after all this.
Wait, what? It was one time.
It was many times.
You were in prison for just under 2 years. You were lying. It was not 2 years. It was like a year and change.
I don't know. I don't think I'll ever be able to forgive him for this. He really just kind of went off the deep end, and
Son of a bitch.
I don't know if my life will ever be the same, or his for that matter.
Neal was not the only person that felt the pain of his actions today. We talked with Timmy, who was sent to prison for what he did during his breakdown.
I was one of the first to experience the crisis myself. Beforehand, I never really thought of myself as someone who would end up in jail, but after what I did, I deserve it.
And what did you do exactly?
Well, it all started when I decided to invest all my money in the Google glasses, and as you might remember, it did not pan out well. I lost all of my money, and out of frustration, I decided to start robbing public libraries, and I sold all of the books to local students at an affordable price. And well, long story short, they caught me, they threw me in here.
Stories like Timmy's are very common, and there still is not a lot of research done on what causes the craze. We sat down with Dr. Belle Nye to learn about her research on what causes the breakdowns.
Hi, I'm Dr. Belle Nye, and you probably know me as the head researcher of the most successful lab study studying the coming of craze. We have strong evidence to believe that the coming of craze is due to an organism being introduced in the water all over the U.S. This is causing changes in the frontal lobe that is resulting in extreme character changes.
The "it's something in the water" theory is currently the leading theory among scientists. We sat down with Laura, who is currently going through her breakdown. As you can see, the interview clearly shows how the coming of craze makes people delusional and crazy.
Hey, my name is Laura, but you can call me Hannah.
Hannah?
As in Hannah Montana. That was me. My name was Hannah Dakota, and I was a pop country singer. I was at the top of my game, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, comes Billy Ray Cyrus and his little heathen daughter, Miley Cyrus, and Disney Channel executives, and they said, "Hey, we're stealing your goddamn life." And they took everything from me, even my songs. Best of Both Worlds? Yeah, I wrote that, about my love of both North and South Dakota.
Okay, so how has the breakdown affected you?
What breakdown?
I mean, how have you been feeling recently?
Oh, I guess I've been feeling good. I just miss being a singer, you know? Yeah. So if you guys want any more information from me, or you want to hear some new songs that I've been working on, just hit up my manager. I have a new one called Smo Buddies Perfect. Bye.
Well, everyone is excited by the research that Dr. Bell is doing. We decided to do some of our own digging. We discovered that there are 2 cases that do not fit the traditional coming of craze storyline that we believe scientists have decided to ignore. Our first case is Tom, who claims that the breakdown had the opposite effect. He became less rambunctious and a better student during the breakdown.
What's up? I'm Tom. Yeah, when I was 17, 18, 19, I was a pretty rad pop star. I was partying, drinking, partying in that order, sometimes in other orders. And then when I turned 20, I just turned lame as hell. I started doing my homework on time. I started staying in on Saturdays. I think at one point I actually took the entire CPA exam and became a licensed accountant. It was really just a terrible time for me personally. I didn't like the person I was at that point. Now I'm back on track. I'm playing D1 lax with the boys club, and I think I've really just found myself, and I think I'm in a good place now.
Dr. Bell-Nye's research doesn't consider people like Tom. Her research is built on the fact that the craze makes people irrational as well as only lasts for a short period of time. However, that isn't always the case. We talked to Drew, who has been stuck in his craze for about 2 years now.
My name is Drew, and before I say anything, this whole craze is one big conspiracy. The U.S. government, they are running experiments on our brains and our minds and our souls. Sorry. Once they perfect it, we are all doomed. I've spent 2 years collecting information on this, and it is right in front of our eyes. Let's look at the board. Britney Spears wrote the song Toxic as a warning about the toxic effects of the U.S. government. That is why she shaved her head. The bourgeoisie. The best way not to deal with the working class? Just turn them all into robots. Pete and Larry here, the bird drones. The bird drones, they've been under government interference since the 1990s. Before the 1990s, people saw baby pigeons. You don't see baby pigeons anymore. Tell me, when was the last time you saw a baby pigeon? That's because, much like Pete and Larry, they are all robots. I'm sorry. Miley Cyrus, Britney Spears, Shia LaBeouf. The government ensured that it could break the best of us, and the government needed to know that they could shut down these bright, beautiful brains in order for them to know that they could shut down all of us. Because if they can turn Shia LaBeouf into the hit star of Transformers 2, Dark of the Moon, into a scared man wearing a bag over his head, they could do it to all of us.
As we have seen, the coming of craze truly does not affect everyone the same. We believe that scientists and reporters are excluding these outlier cases from their findings. Hayley turned 20 over the course of this production, and we followed her story.
Hi, my name's Hayley, and I'm turning 20 in a couple of days. I'm not really nervous, though. Most of my friends have already turned 20, and I haven't really seen anything that bad happen. So, I'm feeling pretty confident, and, even if something does happen, I welcome change, so I'm actually kind of excited for it. So it's me again, Hayley. Today's actually my birthday, so 20 today. It's kind of exciting, I guess, but I feel pretty normal. Nothing really has happened yet. It's actually kind of disappointing, but at the same time, I'm glad that nothing has happened yet, and I'm not really worried about anything happening because, what could really happen? To me, I've been through so many things, and, school is kind of hard right now, but, that's not really a problem. I've gone through a lot of things before, but anyways, totally feel normal. There's nothing going on at all. Yeah.
We thought it'd be nice to throw a small birthday party for Hayley. Little does she know that we have a whole party planned. So it actually turns out that Hayley's birthday is today, so we decided to throw her a little small surprise party. Oh look, here she comes. Happy birthday, Hayley!
What is this? Another bit for your documentary with your experiment girl? I'm too fucking fed up to do this shit anymore, okay? I spent all of last night, 12 hours, studying for my psych exam. You might have thought, well, you must have aced that exam then. Ha! You thought wrong, okay? I got there, I looked at the questions, I didn't know what half of them were even fucking asking, let alone the answers. And I don't know if I was delirious from lack of sleep or this fucking coming of craze that you speak of, but I got up in the middle of lecture. Hundreds of students silently taking their tests, and I confessed my love for my professor. And to make things even worse, he didn't seem in the slightest bit interested in me. Farm-grown, organic, all natural, baby. And what is he? Balding. I don't even like him. I don't know why I said it. So my life is pretty much over, and I'm only 20. It's fucking great. To make matters even worse, somehow, they got me a cake, America. That's right. This little documentary crew here got me a cake. And you may all think that's very nice and really just so good of them to throw me a little surprise party. But I've been vegan for 2 months now, and the thing that I've craved most in the entire world is cake. And I can't eat it because this one has milk and eggs and other fucking whatever fucks that I can't eat. Because veganism fucking sucks, okay? So yeah, I'm fucking done.
While our experiment with Hayley didn't go as planned, it's clear that these breakdowns will have a future impact on our country. Will our researcher ever find a cure, or will it just become something that we have to live with? And that concludes our in-depth discovery on coming of craze. My name's Emma Toole. Thank you for watching.